In 12th century South India, spiritual and intellectual knowledge was fiercely guarded. It was monopolized by a tiny elite, encoded in complex Sanskrit, and physically locked away inside massive stone temples, shutting out the vast majority of the population. Over in Kalyana, Karnataka, a philosopher named Basavanna introduced a radical alternative. He completely rejected this static stone temple culture. Instead, he argued that the human body itself is the true, living temple, making divinity directly accessible to everyone by default. To put this into practice, he established the Anubhava Mantapa, effectively the world's first spiritual parliament. Here, people gathered to hold democratic, intensely anti-caste discussions. And instead of Sanskrit, they spoke in vachanas, short, powerful prose written in the everyday language of the common masses. This community was anchored by two core principles. The first was kayaka, which declared absolute dignity in all physical labor. The second was dasoha, the strict mandate that wealth generated from that labor must be equitably distributed back into society. But for all its reach in Kalyana, the movement faced a hard boundary. Its message was tied to the Kannada language, meaning that to cross into the neighboring Telugu lands, these ideas would have to be completely rebuilt in a new tongue. The physical migration of these ideas began with Alka Mahadevi. Departing from Basavanna's Anubhava Mantapa, she cast off all societal expectations, cementing herself as the ultimate symbol of female spiritual and intellectual independence. She carried the movement's ideals eastward, traveling across the state border. Her journey took her deep into the dense Kadali Vana forest of Srisailam, located in modern-day Andhra Pradesh. Srisailam served as the geographic anchor point, a tangible cultural bridge where the Kannada Sharana movement successfully bled into the neighboring Telugu spiritual landscape. Ideas require a vehicle to survive. In the 13th century, a brilliant Telugu poet named Paul Kariki Somanatha took on the ambitious mission of translating Basavanna's entire revolution for the Telugu-speaking world. His first tactic was to bypass the gatekeepers completely. Somanatha abandoned elite, scholar-centric Sanskrit. He chose to compose his texts in Dwipada, a pure, native two-line Telugu folk meter, specifically designed so that village farmers and women could easily sing and understand it. He then engineered something completely novel, an entirely new literary genre in Telugu and Sanskrit known as Udaharana literature. And he created this genre for the express purpose of praising a human social reformer, Basavanna. The mechanics of Udaharana are strictly structured. The poet uses all 8 grammatical cases, or vibhaktis. By systematically running a person's character through every structural angle of the language, the syntax itself elevates a human leader to the exact status of a deity. Somanatha also wrote the Pancha Pashana Padyalu. These were intense, stone-hard tongue twisters, composed with dense, repeating hard consonants. When recited aloud, the aggressive rhythm perfectly mimics the pounding sound of Shiva's Damari drum. These tongue twisters had a highly practical function. They acted as a form of speech therapy and a neurological exercise, helping children and the masses master complex pronunciation and focus their minds. Somanatha's work moved the Sharana's philosophy out of the exclusive Sanskrit domain. By embedding Basavanna's wife into the grammar and folk rhythms of the region, he ensured these radical ideas could be recited and remembered by anyone, regardless of their social standing. These translated ideas embedded themselves deeply into the culture. By the 17th century, the prominent Telugu poet Yogi Vemana adopted Basavanna's exact anti-caste arguments and sharp condemnations of superstition to fuel his own highly influential poetry. But to see the true staying power of this revolution, we have to look past ancient intellectual poetry and step into the dirt and agricultural reality of modern Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. During the modern Makar Sankranti harvest festival, villages across these states hold a tradition known as Gangireddy. Farmers intricately decorate their local bulls with colorful fabrics and ornaments, showing deep reverence for the animals that sustain their livelihoods. Out of a deep, lasting respect for the 12th century philosophy of kayaka, the absolute dignity of agricultural labor, these Telugu farmers still lovingly call their revered harvest bull by one specific name, Basavanna. The path from 12th century Kalyana to the modern fields of Andhra shows how these ideas survived. By moving through literature and into the naming of the livestock itself, Basavanna's message became a shared heritage between two distinct cultures.